Sean, you know what the word safari means, don't you?
Yeah, it's kind of like a trip that you take, and they usually refer to it as a safari to Africa or something like that.
Usually to Africa. As a matter of fact, you're going on a safari, but you're not going anywhere near Africa. You're going into the local pond and look for animals that are far more fantastic than anything you'd ever find in Africa.
Oh, okay.
And here are the tools that you're going to need. Start here. See that?
A paintbrush?
Yes. See, when you catch a little animal, you can scoop them up with a paintbrush and transfer them.
Oh,
You're not going to paint the animals, obviously.
Okay, I understand. And a little pick.
Yes. And this, and this, and this, and this. When you find some animals, you can put them in there. It has a nice white background so you can see them.
Oh, I see.
Here's one of your most useful tools, obviously.
A magnifying glass.
Yes. That magnifies 5, 10, and 15 times when you put them all together like that.
Okay. That's the little medicine thing.
Yes, ordinarily they do drop medicine, but you're going to use them to suck up animals.
Oh, okay.
And they're small enough to go in the end of the opening of that, too. And here's a big one. This is for basting turkeys, right, or something like that.
Okay.
But you're going to suck up bigger animals with this one.
Okay.
That, you should know what to do with that.
Tweezers. And this is kind of like a little butterfly net.
Yes, only you're going to be catching animals that are much smaller than butterflies.
Oh, okay.
Then what you want to do is go to the pond and take some of the bottom and some of the plants and a lot of the water and put it all in a tank like this.
Oh, okay.
Then let it sit for maybe a day or so, and then all of the silt and mud will settle to the bottom, and then the plants will be there, and the water. So you'll have a little cross section, a little miniature pond right like this.
Oh,
then you can put it and look at it very carefully with the magnifying glass. Use all those tools to take them out, the animals as you find them, and then you can put them in smaller tanks like this, and even small ones like that, and finally even little microscope slides like this made of plastic.
Oh, okay.
And here is what you really will use to finally see in great detail. Have you ever used a microscope?
No, I haven't.
Well, here's one that you can take home and practice. Take a look at that. What do you see?
It looks like some little grains of salt.
Yes, I put some salt in there so that you could get the idea. Come on up here so that you can understand the general idea. Well, it is to get the general idea.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Now, you recognize this animal, I assume?
Yeah, that looks like a dragonfly.
Well, they fly around and they eat insects and so forth. However, when you find them, they'll be underwater and they'll look more like that.
Oh, gosh.
Real weird kind of animals that you'll find when you go on a safari in a pond.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, Shane, you really have a beautiful little aquarium. It's really a cross-section of a pond, right? Where'd you get it?
Well, we went to the park and we found some little ponds there. And we looked around and we saw some fish. We caught some of them with the net over here.
With the net, okay.
Right. We caught them, and those were the first things we noticed, actually, because they were swimming around, and they,
See, one of the trouble with having fish in a freshwater aquarium like this that represents a cross-section of a pond is that the fish have a tendency to eat the other little animals.
Yeah.
If you catch any hydra or things like that, well, they'll eat them. But that's all right. That's part of the whole way life goes on. Okay, so you caught the fish with the net and stuck them in there. What else did you find?
Well, I thought I saw some caddis flies in there. I wasn't sure about it until I got them into the aquarium and looked at them under the microscope.
With the magnifying glass?
Yeah, with the magnifying glass. Right.
Yeah. Why? What did they look like?
Well, they look really neat, actually. The one in here that you can see is covered itself up with twigs.
Right.
And some of them use pebbles, and there's
And you
leaves.
read that that's sort of specific for the species. Some use pebbles, some use leaves. They're one of my favorites, yeah.
Yeah, they're neat.
Then I see some other things swimming around, little tiny things zipping by.
Some little things that are like beetles.
Yeah, they're little water that live their whole life underwater, right? Yeah. Then did you use the microscope?
I did, actually. I sucked up a little fish and put him in one of these containers and looked at him. And then he looked really neat. I could see the scales and things. And when I put him back in, he kind of floated on the top of the water. So I didn't suck any more out because I thought I'd killed that one.
Well, you might have because you maybe squeezed him a little tight.
Yeah.
But
very often you have to sacrifice the animal.
you're going to do stuff with the thing, I thought the microscope worked particularly well for you because it has a sort of built-in light source in that it takes the light via the fiber optics and runs it up, so you don't have to have a light source. Invented by a friend of mine, Dennis Brock.
Oh, that's nice.
I have captured some animals of
My own, and I think you may recognize the first one. So come on over here, and you will see an old friend. Here's my special microscope setup. Don't look at the tank.
Okay.
That's where your friend is, I think. I have a card in front of the lens here, so you can't see the image. But eventually, when I take the card away, the image will be recorded here by a television camera. Come around over here, and we'll see it there on my monitor.
Oh, neat.
So and magnified about 16 times. So here is your friend.
Oh, it looks like a caddisfly.
How can you tell?
Well, I can see his head and his legs,
Yeah,
and it looks like some little twigs on his body.
I'll look going like this, and you can see it. See the body all full of twigs. He has this sort of red one there too. See?
Yeah, isn't that neat?
So there's your friend, the caddisfly larva.
Yeah.
Now I have a couple of others that I collected to sort of surprise you, but it's quite typical of what you might find if you went on a safari in a freshwater pond. You recognize that?
Yeah, it looks like a tadpole.
Yeah, it's a tadpole.
But what of the little clear part along his tail?
Well, I think those are veins, probably that he uses to breathe with. I'm not an expert at tadpoles, but you can use. Okay, then here's the eye. See it over there? Now see if we can get up to move, and there he's got two legs.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
There, you see, so you just saw one? Right,
Yeah, I did. Boy, that's interesting.
And those little things that are floating around, see those?
Yeah,
They're called,
what are those?
well, they're called water fleas. They're really Daphnia. And they're interesting animals that are very famous because you can see right through them when you look at them with a
Oh, they're
microscope.
transparent.
Now, here is another animal I hope you will recognize.
What is it? I've never seen something like that
I never
before.
have either. So I have no idea what it is. That's one of the exciting things about going on a safari in a freshwater pond. You never know what you're going to run into.
Yeah. The front almost looks like it's a caddisfly,
Doesn't it though? Yes.
But it's got almost a shell on
But
it,
it
so
has
it
a shell
can't
on
be
it.
that.
So I call it the mysterious monster till I can go to the library and get a book and find out what it is.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Anyway, it's fun.
Yeah,
I've
it
spent
is.
hours and hours going on underwater safaris